Hey, what's up? At your feet on the street, your favorite cryptid hunter, JR, and you found your way to the Scot-Free podcast. And man, I gotta let you know, we got significant amounts of adult topics here. Some discussion is just not suitable for all the kiddos. If it gets too hot, take a break. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Scot-Free, the finale of Season 2, where we have been...
Welcome.
The podcasting smoke of all of
if you're going to listen to conspiracy podcasts, you can't do that not stoned.
True.
It's smoke and mirrors. That's what we produce here to create the illusion of a story. And with me, I have Don, Drag, Mike, and Bub. How are you?
Good. I'm living my best life.
We're about to go into a strip club.
Just trying
we're going into a World of Darkness strip club. This is going to end great.
I'm using this mug in name of JR. This is my JR mug.
For all of our podcast listeners, what does it look like, Mathis?
It's an alien with weed leaves in his eyes, smoking a joint, baby.
You need to explain it. I think the podcasters could hear.
To be fair, that is an enormous blunt, man. That is like that's
just my morning wake.
I'm proud
right
of
there.
that.
That's
so
just the
much.
start
Yeah,
of the
right.
day.
That's just the wake and bake,
yeah,
baby.
man, that's just the start of the day.
That's the kind of
welcome to
podcast
Anarch
we're running,
Show,
and you
everybody.
can find that on
Patreon.com. Come on,
Patreon.com.
Bub. Getting a JR's shoes, method acting.
I mean, I think I've nailed it thus far. Let's just see where else we can take it.
Yeah, what is in the vape?
It's honestly, it's like it's something likely named something like coconut sunbreeze beach burn or some ridiculous name like that. It's like a pina colada, disgusting.
Beach
mixture.
Bird is the best name ever.
Yeah.
For a strain.
That's my next vampire character, Peach Bird. Oh dear. All right, let's see how this car crash ends. Rein it in.
It ended with a lupine pinned against a tree. What are you talking about?
That is a good point. Well, let's see if we can get a twofer on that one and see what our Anarchs are up to. It's a difficult thing, kindred politics. There's backstabbing, there's two-timing, there's everyone out for themselves, trying to get enough blood, enough money, enough fun to make immortality worth it. And I think despite how normal these four try to live their lives, there's a huge splinter of that breaking up their everyday and shoving them into the maw of Gary. On the other hand, mortals are much, much simpler by kindred standards. And that is maybe not in those words, but perhaps the things that are going through Candy's mind as she looks at a very large man who is enjoying himself in a strip club and is just being told by the woman that she has paid that there is a private room waiting for him. And she points over to you, and you're in a dark corner, but the low lighting hits some highlights, some sparkles of your nails. Maybe you've got sequins on this Honkers t-shirt.
Oh, I probably have like diamonds, crusted on my eyes and stuff. Oh, yeah. I mean, I bet eyelashes, I wiggle fingers, I smile.
Yes. And I feel like in this moment, it would be a good idea for you to do a roll, which...
Sure.
Should we do maybe intelligence plus politics?
Oh, I got all 3 successes.
Wow. There's like a spark in your brain. You're looking at this man and you realize, yeah, Big Danny, the name doesn't ring a bell. You don't know the names of all of your dad's goons. That was definitely one of Daddy's lieutenants. You recognize the face.
Okay, that means... here's a better question. Do I think he'll recognize me?
It's a possibility.
Then I should play it coy. Candy immediately, like, kind of turns her head a little bit to hide some of her face and instead goes for the back view, like turns around and, like, you know, make sure the skirt's just short enough. She's wearing her Honkers t-shirt, for Christ's sake. She's probably already cut it into a crop top. Yeah, cropped it. She's like ready to go. And so she just does this swing of like the blonde hair and the walk, the walk, as she walks towards the room to draw him in.
Yes. At this point, would you have instructed Sava to be in there already, or do you want him to be
I would have thought that they would at least have taken the cue of where we're headed based on where Candy's going. So Sava's a smart fellow, right? Take a hit.
I think if that is basically the plan you agreed to, he would probably already be in there, and you see him as you get inside, and you take position in one of the seats that I assume is in the darkest corner. How do you want to present yourself for when?
No, actually, I want to be in the brightest corner because I want his back to Sava, the dark corner of the room. So yeah, I try to make sure that I am like in the light, leaning at like the perfect 45, degree angle on this couch, fur, dog in purse, waiting here for this man to round the corner.
It doesn't take long at all before the door opens, swings it, closes it behind him, and he's like, "So I hear you wanted a private audience. I'm very excited to meet you."
Oh, so he doesn't recognize me.
Oh, that's when he turns around. And you see shock. He does recognize you.
Oh my gosh, it's been like so long, Danny. The last time I saw you, you were like standing by while Daddy was torturing somebody.
Yeah. Candy, it's good to finally see you again.
Mm-hmm.
Look. Your dad was a great guy, and I am so sorry to hear about his tragic loss.
Mm-hmm. It was very sad.
It was. I mean, we spent really good times at those construction sites, just chucking guys into cement. It was a lot of fun.
I feel like there's like a but coming.
Yeah. Well, the but is there's no real leader of the Luciano family anymore. And so I thought that it would be very important for me to step up and help out the guys around. And it turns out that everything's been going fine. We got a couple of gangs running for you. Your legacy is secure.
There's no leader of like the Luciano family.
Well,
just wanted to make sure I heard that clearly.
Well, I don't see one. Not named Luciano, at least.
Right. Do you mind if I smoke?
Go ahead.
Okay. Candy reaches in her bag and she pulls out what is actually like a hand rolled. It looks to be a cigarette or a joint. You don't know. It's one of Candy's concoctions. And she lights it up. And she takes a big puff off of it. And as she exhaled, she goes, it's kind of cute the way you think that, but last time I checked, my last name was Luciano. And she's going to use envelop on him.
Ooh.
To cue our Mothman to take action. So for those of you that don't know, this is a fun one. I'm learning all these things about Thin Blood, y'all.
Yeah, that is.
So yeah, basically it creates like a mist, right?
Yes. How do you do your alchemy? Do you brew things?
So do you want to know about the? I have it. Yeah. So do you want to know how I did this one?
Yes.
Okay, so Candy she uses mostly drugstore makeup items, anything you can find available. So she has oh, this is fun. Okay, so this one requires her blood. So it's got her blood. It's got human blood in it. And in this case, it needs to have potassium chlorate, which can often be found in an alternative to mouthwashes for people that have like bad infections and things like that. And so she's probably like dropped some of that in, and she's cured it all and dried it and crushed it to put it into this thing to smoke, because it needs smog or halogen gas to actually activate the alchemy. So I do have to rouse. So let me do that.
A rouse check and
here.
an intelligence plus thin blood alchemy roll.
The alchemist can make the mist suffocate a mortal with a contest of a wits alchemy versus stamina survival.
Would you like to suffocate him?
That is the point. I mean, it's obviously going to obscure his sight, so he can't see it coming. But I would like to suffocate him at least until. I don't want to kill him. I just want to distract him. Right. I want him at his weakest for when Sava attacks him.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so she blows this in his face and reminds him that no, there is in fact somebody that still carries the Luciano name.
Yeah, he as you're blowing this smoke, it just initially looks like a normal cigarette plume, and before it thickens into a choking smog, the last thing he says is, "I'm sorry, Candy. I was just trying to protect you. It's a rough world out there." And that is when it slowly rises from his feet and thickens, and he starts to splutter. And then you hear, "Oh yeah, real rough. Okay, let's go."
Yeah, and Candy will go, "That's really funny, but if I wanted a white knight, I'd go buy one."
And that is the last thing he hears before he is ripped from reality and torn through through oblivion to the outside. And there's like, everyone outside hears a kind of crashing of bins and rubbish around the corner of this strip place.
The hell was that?
There's a look around, but I just kind of give you a raised eyebrow.
I'll go take a look.
I'll keep an eye on him, but stay a distance. Not like out of sight fully, but just so that we're not obviously together in case he gets jumped.
Yeah, so you move round to the corner and you see Sava picking banana peels off of himself and like one arm over his back, this unconscious dude.
It's a hell of a fall down the well for the Mothman. Banana peels. Nice. Good luck.
Hey, I just pulled off a guy heist. A thank you is nice.
Like a mob napping.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll put that on my CV.
Yeah. Noted. I'll run up the chain. Yeah, come on, let's go.
Everyone like takes a moment, looks around, and like
I think Candy comes out of the room and immediately looks for Ikemba, like tries to make eye contact. Looks like
Ikemba's enjoying himself. I think he's not throwing singles. He's not cheap.
I was going to say, that's good to know. We need a good distraction to get out of here so nobody notices that Big Danny isn't around anymore. So Candy just kind of reaches in her purse for whatever cash she has left on her and just kind of says, "Drinks on Candy!" and like tosses the money. And then I run over to Ikemba. I'm like, we gotta go.
Now? They were just getting into it.
It went down. The shit happened. Like, we have to go.
Fine, yeah, coming. And Ikemba just very upset just says, "Talk to you later, Stephanie." As he stands up.
I'm like, he's not calling you Stephanie. Come on. And I gotta keep pushing you as I out the door so we can go meet everybody.
You go outside and you see people bungling this guy into your new car. Your old car. And yeah, he's out cold.
Big Danny, huh? It's more like very average build Danny, I guess.
Like, I know this guy. He used to work on Dad's detail. I proceed to pull out handcuffs, police grade, from my pocketbook.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Oscar. And yeah, no, not for you, for him. And I put him on Big Danny. And then I proceed to go in my bag and pull out like a handkerchief and I stuff it in his mouth.
You've done this before. We should talk about this later for reasons.
It's called hazing.
Oh, that's not at all what I had in mind.
Ikemba looks at JR knowingly. Yeah.
Come on, what are we
before you
standing
shut him in
around
the trunk,
for?
Tim will approach Candy. Is he breathing?
Ooh, I don't want to get that close.
I will. I also want to like feed a point off of him. I'm like hungry, so I want to just lean. I'm not at 4 hunger, no risk of hunger frenzy. I just want to drain a point. Just bring me to 2, and keep him. It'll keep him unconscious. It won't keep him to the point of like days of. It'll just be like a few hours of him being rough.
Yeah.
If Candy just doesn't stop me, that's what I'll go and do.
I mean, as long as he's still conscious enough, I can torture him later.
Oh, yeah. So I'm only draining
Okay.
a single point of hunger off the dude. I'll lick the wounds closed afterward. I just want to bring myself from 3 to 2 because I don't want to risk going to 4.
That's a smart idea.
So
He's alive.
let's go back to the tire shop. I have questions for Big Danny.
I'm sure you do.
Tim will quietly just jump in the vehicle.
I think JR probably like scans around to see if anyone may have potentially seen or if there might be any werewolves about.
JR, do me a wits awareness roll, please.
Yeah, that's pretty good for me. I got 3.
3. There's like a little tingle. You're not sure where it's coming from. Seems like it's all around you. That might just be normal.
Fuck, I hate feeling like this. Guys, we're definitely being watched.
JR,
Let's go.
You're like too paranoid. We talked about this. Breathe.
Hey, it keeps me alive. Keeps me alive.
Not to be the
Okay.
bearer of bad news, but you're kind of already dead.
That's a very valid point.
I don't like where you're going with this. Like you're not reading a positive scale here, Tim. Right? Like we're working. Work with me here, my guy.
Oh my gosh, torturing Big Danny.
I don't give a fuck
Gold
about this
for the
guy.
night. I do. It's my business. He doesn't take me seriously.
Yeah, okay, I understand. All right. Sorry, in the car. Scott, come on, bring the truck, Scott.
Yeah, you're the chauffeur.
Scott's gone.
Yeah.
I'm driving then.
yeah,
I'm
he
in the
took the
driver's
other
seat.
car.
I'm always the backup driver. I don't mind. I have 4 dots in driving. Let me do it.
Let's roll them. No, you're fine.
Again, let me use my skills. I got to hit a werewolf with my driving skill.
That's pretty cool.
I'm more than happy.
By the way, we got to talk about this bill you keep racking up every time you wreck a truck. I can't keep paying for trucks.
Next time I can let JR die.
You know,
was running really
next time, fuck that
fast.
whole truck up. I'd wrap it around 6 trees. That's fine. It's cool. It's cool. The podcast will make it back. I'll buy him a truck.
Okay, JR is going to buy you your next truck.
You got it.
Tim just shrugs. I don't care where it comes from.
Might be a leasing option. I don't make that much money yet.
Well, Candy said it now, so it's gonna happen.
Yeah, no trucks from Candy.
Are we being followed in any way? Because if JR stepped in and was like, "We're being watched," I'm still gonna be smart about it and like
Yeah,
make sure
I'll
we're
look
not
around
being
as well.
followed.
Yeah, okay. Would you like to do like a wits plus drive roll
A wits drive? Sure,
Yeah.
why not?
to encompass the multiple things you are doing? Hopefully with skill.
I mean, it's a decent die pool, but who knows how I'll roll.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Hey, I crit. Beautiful.
You don't see anyone following you, but if the chance existed, it doesn't anymore.
Okay. So unless I'm certain we're being followed, I don't ever say anything. I don't even say we're not being followed. I just kind of drive. And Candy knows at this point, probably with me being a chauffeur, that I never take the direct route anyway. So
I'm like, hey, Tim, since we're like not taking the direct route, can we drop by a drugstore, like a CVS, a Walgreens? I need some things.
you're the boss. So I will. I'll find me a nice Rite Aid.
Yeah, there's like a montage.
no.
Candy runs in and Candy runs
Buc-ee's.
out with like bags of stuff.
It's Roll the Darkness. It's the wrong aid.
Oh my god.
I'm dad aged. I'm not a dad, but I got dad jokes.
But yeah, just two small bags of just some stuff. Just some stuff.
Just stuff. Okay.
As long as nobody follows us from the drugstore, Go from there back.
The clerk looks at you real weird, but you're pretty sure you weren't being
I'm
followed.
assuming Candy went in by herself and she brought her dog inside.
Yeah, like duh.
It's a good distraction.
You arrive back at Honker's, and Garrett is nice enough for a relatively hefty fee, which he ensures is the manager's cut. One of the dancers reminds him that he isn't the manager. You get access back to your little haven for the evening, and underground. You set up a chair and everything you need, Candy. While as you go back, you back up the car. And from the inside, you can hear banging.
Okay, so here's what's up. I'm going to need him strung up by his hands to the ceiling and his feet to the floor. Can we accomplish that with what we've got?
Tim just shrugs and will make his way to the back of the car, pop the hood, and with a swift swing, just crack him in the head with my... I'm not going to kill him. I'm like knocking him out with the crowbar, and I'll heft him up over my shoulder, and I will go tie him up and set him upside down and do everything Candy wants me to do. But I will
right
first
side
start,
up.
Right side up. Then yeah. So wordlessly, the trunk pops. He's screaming me, whatever. I'm assuming it doesn't last long because I'm just going to immediately just whack him with the crowbar, drag him out, and I'll just start walking him down.
He maybe gets out. Hey, what's this all about? I can pay. I just bam.
Tim is not the one that gives a shit. Tie him up as Candy dictates. Right side up, unconscious, and before he moves out of the room, he'll go up to Candy and be like, I imagine you're going to want to do things your way. But if he is resistant, I just kind of like lean my crowbar over my shoulder. I'll be outside.
Okay. He won't resist. I mean, he will, but like he's not gonna.
He nods. For his sake, I hope so. I go outside. I'm going to stand watch outside. That's the plan. Just in case, because I still don't... I want... Tim's just really going to make sure we're covering our tracks here.
I look at Ikemba and JR and I go, so, you may not want to hang around for all of this. Or you can.
I just have a quick question. I'm fully aware of what you plan on doing. Not really my thing. Can I speak to him first? And then...
Yeah, actually, I need to wake him up anyways. Here, hold this. And I start going through the plastic bags and I pull out like a white cotton t-shirt and a fresh Brita pitcher. And I go over and I fill it. And then I come back and I'm like, well, let's wake him up. And so I climb on a chair so I can get above his face and I put the t-shirt over it and I begin waterboarding him until he wakes up.
He wakes up pretty
You know
quick.
what? You're right. And JR leaves.
I'll
we'll
pull
go
the
back to
wet
JR
t-shirt off.
No.
Yeah, I pull the wet t-shirt off so that Ikemba can ask some questions.
Yeah, Ikemba, you're there. He has definitely woken up. He seems very bleary, but he's sort of trying to focus on you.
You can tell that Ikemba wasn't phased by what he just witnessed. When he said it wasn't his thing, he just usually doesn't need to. His talking usually does enough for him. So he kind of looks up at Big Danny, who's tied up, and just goes, "Hey, big guy, you awake? You good?"
Yeah, just about. What's this about? It seems like we got off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, no, trust me, I'm not the one to explain things to you. I'm just trying to get some information out of you, then Candy will have fun with you. So quick question. Why exactly did you decide to go your separate way? Things seem to be going pretty well under Miss Luciano over here.
If I tell you, you'll just let me go, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not all me. I can explain everything. I can give you names, places, whatever. Look, it was. I'll be honest. At first, I thought it was the boss and the boss's daughter. There were strange messages sending drugs into Gary. I set up with the Bravo gang. I set up with the 49ers. We're supplying them. It's a good gig, and if you want to cut that, now is a good time to negotiate. You know what I mean? It's but then it kind of became a big thing. Like some guy, Sean, showed up. It became a big thing. So I was starting to make a lot of money, and I really, really like money.
Yeah. You said that it started off as first you thought it was the boss and Candy, and then at some point it became clear that it wasn't, right?
Yeah. Okay. So who you really want to string up is this guy Scott Freeman. He's been sending me messages. He got your numbers, and then he set it up real good. And we're in a real good place. He's sending out weapons. You want to know where the drugs are? He's sending out like blood transfusions for some reason. It's all sorts of stuff. I can tell you where it's going, and I can tell you where it is. Just it's
while he's talking,
I got a lot of material here for you.
While he's talking, I think especially after mentioning Scott, I think Ikemba is either Scott is really good at acting, or he really is just really incompetent. And it's right now, until now, he thought Scott was very incompetent. I would like to use, dominate and compel.
Hell yeah!
As I'm making direct eye contact with this guy, still the same kind of shit-eating grin on Ikemba's face. And I don't know if do I need to roll for it? As Ikemba kind of looks into Big Danny's eyes, you kind of see almost a shift in Ikemba's presence as this all the kind of carelessness and carefree energy has very quickly disappears, and then with an authority in his voice that I don't think anyone has heard before, he just says, "Big Danny, tell me the truth." And I would like that to be my demand of Big Danny.
And you see, this guy is just a mortal.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So it works straight up. You lock eyes with him, and you see it transmit into his brain this command of truth, and it's tricky. Clearly for him, because he has spent so long lying, it's almost a second sense, but it gets through just by your sheer will. And after that, it kind of sinks in, and he goes, and he's strung from the ceiling, so he's like, hands to God, I am telling the truth. Scott Freeman is your guy.
Ikemba's, again, carefree spirit, just as quick as it disappears, returns again, almost like putting a mask back on, and he's smiling and turns to Candy and says, "Tim wasn't joking. We have a mole."
Oh, I knew that was probably the case, but he gave it away so easy.
You still have fun with him. I'm not going to watch. It's not really my thing, but figured I could get...
You let me go.
Oh, I was lying. Sorry.
How about this? Since it's just the three of us in this room, we're going to carry a little secret, okay? Nobody tells Scott we know.
Fine by me.
When we're all done here tonight, Big Danny, you're going to go back out into the world. I can promise you your life, at least. And you're going to keep pretending that you didn't tell us what you told us.
And that is the way I keep my head. Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm happy to be alive. We'll make a deal. Now let me out of these chains.
No.
I think that's my cue to leave.
We're not done yet.
And I think we follow Ikemba as the door slams shut and you close this huge heavy metal door, and there is an echo of confessions, screams, splatters, and
oh no, it's splatterless.
It's splatterless
until the end. It's splatterless based on the description I gave you. There is no splatter until the end.
I thought there was water involved, but
there is water splatter.
Yes,
You're right. You're right. There is a lot of water.
No, it's mostly just water. And I don't know. How long later does Candy emerge?
Oh, probably 30 minutes or so for the first phase. And like Candy comes out and like dries her hands. She looks like she's been working at a car wash in this Honkers t-shirt, covered in splashed water. And she's like, I give it like an hour. So she'll go back when he starts screaming for the second phase of her plan.
And he does. Once you reemerge again.
I toss something fleshy to the side for Oscar to begin consuming. He's been such a good boy. I wipe a little bit of blood from my hands, and I go to JR and Ikemba and Tim, and I simply say, okay, you can release him now.
I look to JR.
He's probably going to need a ride home. I don't think he can walk.
He just shakes. Tim just shakes his head and say no more. That's my job. Then he just starts walking. He'll take him down. He'll drive him back. You know, all that stuff.
If anybody sees Scott, I have a little job for him. So make sure he, you know.
I'm assuming nobody told JR and Tim
I haven't said
about
anything.
Scott being
not yet. Not yet.
Yeah,
I want to see if Scott still thinks he's got pulled the wool over our eyes. But Candy will go down with you, and I'm sure he looks really, really bad, and there's blood all over his pants. And Candy simply says, so, in lieu of tonight's activities and the fact that you took my man's head, so I took your head, you're going to go back out in the world, and you're going to let every one of them know, all your little gangs, who you're really working for. Say it with me, Big Danny. Candy Luciano.
Candy Luciano.
And let them know that if anybody disagrees, the same fate will befall them, as, of course, befell you.
Got it.
Great. Tim here is going to give you a ride home because we're not heathens.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Have a really good night, Danny. It was so good to see you.
He does not say anything else and very slowly gets probably dragged to a car.
So, like, what did he say?
Well, he revealed quite a few things,
Okay.
to Ikemba. Most importantly, that we do, in fact, like have a mole, which I think we can suss out pretty quickly if we just kind of pretend it's not happening.
All right. Should I don't...
As for the business, we're going to be just fine.
Okay.
Big Danny sorted it out, got in place in the pecking order, and, like, we're going to be fine.
All right. Should I be concerned as to why he screamed?
Do you really want me to tell you that?
Well, you had a select choice of words. They took the head and you took his head. His head, Candy still had his head on. I don't.
Oh, but like that wasn't the head he was thinking with. If he wants to go swinging his dick around, I'll just make sure he can't swing it anymore.
Oh God. I'm so glad that I can grow that all back.
It worked. It was total respect. Andy said thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what's the next play? What are we doing?
So everybody keeps talking about these Bravos. At some point, I think we should go visit them. But when Tim gets back, maybe we should like regroup because I think we need to put out a little manhunt.
Okay. All right. Where are we going to find these clowns? My name is Bravos anyway.
Wow.
It's stupid. Is it
Maybe
gang?
in the middle of my conversation with Big Danny, he revealed where I can find the Bravos.
The Bravos tend to hang out in the center of town. They have like a dive bar where, various of their number hang out and meet with people.
Big Danny decided, to just give us a couple locations. And so we've got like a little diner and a bar. We've got a couple of the local kindred we can like get in contact with and just, get the ball rolling again. And I've got good news for you, JR. Something I think like you might really get behind.
Okay. Yeah, hit me with it.
I would like to put out a manhunt for Scott.
Sure. Yeah.
All hands on deck to find Scott.
Well, I mean, that shouldn't be really hard. Actually, I feel like that's going to be really easy. Danny's truck had OnStar.
I don't know what that is.
You call OnStar to report that the vehicle is missing, and it's a tracking service.
Well, when your car goes missing, you just get another one.
Yeah, not when you're poor, Candy. Not when you're poor. That's not a thing.
Then you call the police.
Yeah, they've been real helpful historically.
Not really a fan
Look,
of that.
I'm just saying. I didn't know there was such thing as an OnStar. So, what, we track his OnStar?
He hasn't left yet, right? He's out there in the. We just haven't phoned it in, and we'll get the details on where the truck is. It's like a security company. He's got to pay some, like it's like $18 a month or something like that. But it's OnStar in the truck.
Here's the thing. I don't want to spook Scott. You know, he's kind of wiry.
Yeah, there's no alert to it. It just informs us so we can let the police know. Thing is, we don't have to let the police know.
Oh, okay. I trust you.
Jared runs out to the
'Cause
vehicle
I
where Danny is.
Don't know how to do that.
Yeah, he's just probably being plopped into the car by Tim at this point. He's just like,
Hey, bud, Large Daniel. Listen, I saw inside of your car. Okay, we moved the Danmobile. There you have OnStar in it. That's classy for your level of class. I'm gonna need you to phone it in. Phone up OnStar and figure out where your car is, because it's currently being taken somewhere, unbeknownst to us, completely. So let's get on with this.
He painfully nods and reaches shakily into his pocket and pulls up his phone. And after a short phone call, he's like, "What do you want to know? What? It's just the location."
Yeah, give us at least I don't know, some we can plug it in GPS or something, man.
Okay. And then a few more minutes later, he gives you a GPS location.
Hey, Hefty Dan boy, thank you, appreciate you. You're great. You're excellent.
I hate you.
Well, I mean, I'm not particularly a fan of you either, but hey, you know what? That's something we have in common. All right, we can bond off of this, but not right now. Get the fuck out of my face. And he shuts this.
Ikemba, I'm having major FOMO. Maybe we should go join them and we just all take a ride to go drop off Danny. And then, if this big star or whatever JR's working on gives us a location, that we can all just go straight there and find Scott.
Sounds
maybe
good to
I'm
me,
being
boss.
a little bit foolish, but can't you just text him and tell him you have an emergency to have him come pick you up?
You really think he's going to show up?
He doesn't know we know. Why would he be nervous?
Oh my God, that's such a good point. And I'll start
meet you at Tires by Night.
Oh my God. And I kind of click-clack away on my very sparkly pink cell phone.
You see Tim just subtly shake his head as he shuts the trunk on this guy.
My only fear is if maybe Scott is wiser than we anticipated.
I'm
Maybe
pretty
he's
sure
like,
Scott
"Yeah,
is-
I'll be there," and he never shows up.
I will say
Then
Scott
that can be our plan B.
Scott did leave exactly when we went to get the one person he would tell us about Scott.
All right, well, I got a location,
Like where?
and I'll hold up the phone. We're just gonna Google Maps it.
You plug it into.
Where is it
Google
going
Maps.
to take us? Where's it? What's it ping?
How far away?
It appears to ping a very large truck depot at the near the steelworks, where there has been Tim would know a lot of smuggling is very easy to do through that route because it's quite close to the highway, and yeah, it's definitely a big truck depot.
So Jared's gonna be like, I don't know. Does this make any sense to you, Tim? You got the roads down, man.
Yeah, he just raises an eyebrow. I'm familiar. Are we heading there now, or shall I drop this man off first?
I feel like we should see, Danny home. It's only polite.
Yes, please.
JR's going. So he not JR. Tim's going. He's sliding into the driver's seat.
Yeah, he'll go too.
I sit in the back seat with Danny.
So
where are we bringing this guy back to? The strip club?
Danny, where would you like to go?
Yeah, Thick Nano, hit us with it.
And where might we find your humble abode?
He gives you an address in the center.
Hospital.
Yeah.
Honestly, dropping him at a strip club is such a funny thing after what you did to him. Generally, so funny to me.
Am I familiar with the address, or does it just give like a house address essentially?
It's just a house address.
Okay, cool. So I'll drive there if that works. If Candy gives the orders to drive him to the house, I'll step out. I'll grab him from the trunk. I'll walk him into the front door. I'll bring him to his bedroom before I untie his ass. I am not going to risk him trying to run. So I'll be in there for probably a couple minutes, and then I'll make my way back outside. After I will cut him loose. I'll make sure do we want him conscious? Is that does Candy care? Because I'll just fucking.
I was about to say, as long as he can heal, I don't want him to die. I need him to report the message. He's the messenger boy. But yeah, if you want to feed from him, knock him out for a while.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. I'll leave him in his bedroom, and then I'll make my way outside after probably 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I hop in the car, and where are we going next? To the truck stop?
This has been so much fun. I feel like we really accomplished things tonight,
I know I had some fun.
If anything, Candy, you're a woman of progress.
Thank you, Tim. Always seeing the light in the darkness. Now all we have to do is get our hands on Scott so we can dispose of him.
JR's probably a little bummed. Yeah, notice he's quieter than normal, even for JR.
JR, why are you sad?
I get it. It's business, right? It's business, but just once I want to go somewhere where there is something. Give me a goblin, Mothman, Jersey Devil. I don't know.
You were chased by a werewolf tonight.
Yeah, but I'm a vampire.
We kind of know that.
But your podcast listeners don't know that.
No, I don't know. There has to be something. There's got to be some truth to the experience, right? I was really excited to get Tim back out here because I wanted to hear about the shit that he'd seen on the road, and it just came down to.
Have you been to Scotland?
No. Should I? What's in Scotland? What do they got over there?
Yeah, you've got some. I used to live there a while ago before I moved over. They have some, at least tales. Never saw any in person, but some interesting cryptids.
Okay.
You see, Tim probably has a very, very faint smirk on his face for a moment as I activate chemistry, and out of the corner of Jesus Christ, out of the corner of JR's eye, you actually see what you think is red eyes, winged creature take off from a tree and flap into the sky just for a moment out of the corner of your eye, and when you turn to see it, it's already flown away.
You see his head fly into the dash.
Yeah.
JR.
No one else saw that. It was only JR that saw it.
JR.
Yeah,
what? All right there, big
Are you
fella.
good? I don't think there's any werewolves nearby. You can relax.
Hope still lives.
Plus, you can run faster than the car.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I know. I just need a faster camera.
You know what, JR? Because I like you, I'm going to give you the inside scoop on mob activity in Gary. That'd be a great thing for your podcast or whatever. Come on, drugs, torture.
Do you think we'd get in trouble if I talked about the werewolves?
Yes.
I mean, am not even totally convinced it wasn't actually just a dog, but you're convinced it was a werewolf. So, and that's what you're supposed to do is like convince your listeners. So I say go for it.
I'm hearing some ideas, got some takes. The dog mob of Gary is hot. This could be the next thing. Could be the next thing.
See? Light in the darkness, JR. Just a little optimism.
You know what? Yes.
Now, everybody focus. We have to go kill Scott.
That's okay. All right. How
Did we want to text him to see if he would come away and meet us
I
at...
did text him. Did he text me back?
Yes, he texts you back. See you at Honkers in an hour.
All right. We can go wait
okay,
for an hour.
We're going back to Honkers.
You wait for an hour. He doesn't show up.
All right, time to go
Of
work.
course he
his
doesn't. Yeah. Now we're gonna go. Yeah.
Grin got wider. He was like, "Yeah, this makes sense." He left when we went to pick up Danny. Yeah, he knows.
Okay. I'll drive him there.
So you arrive at the depot. This is a much, much bigger one than like the side of the road gravel shitty like Portaloo and a smoke break kind of place. This is a full-on export-import depot. It's connected to the lake for easy water transport. This is clearly a center of commerce that someone has been using to shift shady materials in and out of Gary. And you couldn't have thought of a better place for it yourself, Tim. There's a security gate around the outside. It's nothing special, but there. I think at this point you see, the kind of docking bays that go down a little bit into, that back up onto the loading area. You see people shuffling their asses really, really fast. And, as you pull up to a place where you can see it, you see a couple of huge trucks pull out of there and onto the highway.
Can I catch any drivers? Can I see any drivers I'm familiar with?
There's definitely a couple of drivers in there that you are familiar with that should be working for you.
Okay. But none of them were Scott.
Neither are with us.
Okay.
No.
I'll park the car in such a fashion that it is obnoxiously blocking the exit for anybody else to leave. That they would have to literally plow through my vehicle to do so.
There's 2 remaining trucks, which are currently being loaded with poorly disguised crates of weaponry. And I think you even notice a huge jug of blood.
Tim just looks to Candy. That's our goddamn merchandise.
Yes, I think it is. She kind of takes all this in. She's interested. Does it look like somebody's in charge?
There's definitely someone in charge, like pointing people around. You're not sure if it's Scott. It's very, very far away.
Well, last time I checked, this is my operation. So you know what? I get out of the truck and I walk down the docks.
Candy was cool with me just parking in the most obnoxious way, right?
Oh, for sure. Nobody's going anywhere till we suss this out and I get Scott.
All right, you get out. I follow in tow, probably about 10 feet behind you.
Come on, we're supposed to be here, right? It's our business. Let's go claim our territory or whatever. It'll be fun. If you have a gun, you should bring it.
I do now, actually.
Ikemba doesn't leave the truck. Ikemba's kind of just leaned back, very casual, watching this all go down.
You're in the car that's blocking the entrance?
Yeah.
JR, where are you?
He's gonna walk. He doesn't have a firearm, but he knows that he's much better at kind of running and just doing things pretty quickly. So he's gonna kind of scout around, see if he can get onto trucks and get a heads up view.
Okay. So you're kind of climbing, or are you just looking around? Okay. Let's start with that.
Got it.
Do a Strength athletics.
Okay.
Actually, the fact that you get up high isn't really in question. It's whether you're seen. So do a dex stealth.
I'll take it.
2 successes. You're certain that you haven't been noticed by the people who are distracted by loading a truck. That's for sure. And from up here, you can see quite a lot. There's like a window, and you climb up a bunch of random junk that's been left around onto a ledge that goes all around the building and over the loading bay. And you can even see in through one of those huge skylights into this place now. And sure thing, you see Scott in there.
How close are Candy and Tim?
They probably haven't gone too much further from you. They're approaching these people loading and probably a bit ahead of you.
Sure, I'm gonna like snap and like hit him like whistle. And if I can get their glance, I'll point up to the box.
Yeah, if you want me to climb up and take a peek, I'm happy to do so.
Candy's just gonna walk in like she owns the place. She's a distraction. She's always a distraction. But yeah, Candy goes, that might be a good idea. Seems like maybe Scott's up there, but also there are 2 fully loaded trucks with goods, and those trucks technically belong to us, so I think you have your pick.
And you're saying this to the people loading?
I say this to Tim.
Oh, to Tim.
Before he departs.
Gotcha. Oh, he would just nod. Oh, this is all ours. And maybe both trucks can find their way under my use.
Way better than my leasing plan.
The area where JR's, it's like looking, he's climbed up and looking in a window into the building.
Yeah, you said it's like a skylight.
And you have like
area.
a good like sky view of like what's happening. Yeah, I want to go up there with you.
Are you looking to avoid pulling attention to yourself?
I am, yes.
Dex self.
Give it a shot. Am I stealthy at all? No.
Who knows?
Don't worry, neither was I.
I think Candy sends a quick message back to Ikemba that's just like, Scott's here, holed up in an office.
Can I help him at all? Can I pull him up to relieve some of the struggle?
I mean, with 2, you're already up there. It's not too hard. You're, and yeah, the 2 of you peek through this skylight. You see Scott is like dashing about, throwing things into boxes, like clearly dominating people to fucking hurry up. And you see him pointing and he's freaking out as he's like trying to get everything organized. Clearly, this is an escape plan. That's what you find out here. But meanwhile, Drak, Ikemba.
Yes.
You're sat in the car, and you can see a little bit of chaos in the distance. While you're, I don't know, twiddling your thumbs, there's a little kind of tap-tap on the window.
I will look over to see who it is.
There are 2 people stood next to you, and they seem to be looking at each other very strangely. One is Mr. Silver, you recognize. And the other is a guy in a denim jacket. And there he seems to be wearing a torn shirt. And there is a huge, like, fresh, bloody scar down his face, across his arms.
Okay.
And he just does the wind down motion.
Yeah, Ikemba will wind down the window. How can I help you?
I was just trying to make sure that your message was clear. Is that where the Lucianos are?
Oh, yeah.
And he points over to the...
Ikemba nods. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And unless you stop him, he turns around and walks away.
Ikemba
back down the street.
Kind of grins and rolls the window up before unlocking the door and opening it up for Silver. Like, come on. Pets the the seat beside me.
What was that?
Fun, I guess. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it'll be interesting to watch.
Okay. Well, is there anything you'd like me to do? I've scouted around. It's a very complicated place.
Yeah. Well, I imagine there's going to be some kind of run for it when they catch Scott. So if you can just keep an eye out and tackle him, take him out, distract him, if that ends up being the case we need. But honestly, I think 3 kindred against 1, I think we won't need too much help.
Okay. Well, that's good then. I feel a lot faster since you've been teaching me.
Do you want some more?
I never say no.
Ikemba will reach into his boot and pull out a pocket knife, cut his palm, and let him drink from it.
And once he's drunk from you, you need to do a rouse check.
Yep.
He starts thinking. You do get hungrier.
Yeah.
And it seems like he gets hungrier too, because his immediate question to you is, how are we going to cause this chaos? Like, what do you want out of this? Because I see a lot of fire starters. This is small beans, right?
Yeah. No, I've learned quite a bit on this little mission we're going on. And I've put my footholds in place I need to be. I'm Goon 1 for Candy now. So that could be an interesting place to be. I'm learning about these werewolves and their... I'll be frank, I'm not entirely sure what they want with Gary, but made it clear that there's something in their way and pointed them in that direction. So hopefully that will be a little bit of a fire that'll get started.
Oh, I've got that for you right here. I know what they want.
What do they want?
He hands you over a manifest. So that right there. I went through one of those trucks. That doesn't taste like vampire blood. And it certainly doesn't look like human blood.
Okay. I think Ikemba's actually surprised. He's visibly surprised at this news as he very quickly sinks in.
What do you want? I'm a PI.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good at what you do. Sometimes I forget that. So this is werewolf blood?
Unless there's other kinds of blood.
Is from where, I guess from the manifest, can I gauge that this is like one physical like container of blood, or is it multiple?
There's multiple.
Okay. Thank you. I think we could use this. And I'm just going to pocket this manifest.
It's one of those manifests that's clearly coded.
Yeah.
But he points out the fluffy teddy bears.
Ikemba laughs at that. Far from teddy bears, but I see where they're getting that from. Okay. But I think, honestly, we can just sit back and watch, not get too close to some of these fires about to go. And fan the flames where we can.
That works for me. Do you mind if I smoke?
Go ahead. I barely breathe.
Creepy. And he lights up. Candy, you have been left by your spies, and you march up to these people who are
Actually, you know
busy.
what? As I get close, I pull Oscar out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
This always works. And I mean, he's my familiar, so I go, Oscar, go cause a little chaos, okay? And I kind of let him go first to like, like just start running towards them and like, what do you do with a tiny dog in the middle of the dogs? Just cause some
release
chaos.
the dogs of war.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
god.
reminds me of it's like something about a small dog, man. They just like they think they're bigger than they are. My fucking tiny little Pomeranian Peach
Yeah.
got into a fight with a raccoon twice her size like a month ago and was just like did not care. She was just fucking screaming and trying to tackle this thing. I'm like, the thing could rip your head off if it chose to. Please stop.
Yes, that's the vibe.
Yeah.
Big dog energy, tiny dog body.
I really want you to roll charisma animal Ken.
Okay. I could absolutely do that, in fact. And since this is my familius, don't I get to... Oh, no, that's just for bonding it. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's for
charisma animal kin. 4 successes.
Okay.
Who's my handsome boy? Go get him, Oscar. Go get him.
And then there's that moment where you're just about to let Oscar go, and it's the eagerness in the eyes, and there's like a one of those dog snuffs when they're clearly about to do something ridiculous, and then he wriggles out of your hands and scampers up to the nearest person who has a huge crate of guns and like bites into his face and then bites his ankle, and the guns go clattering, and everyone is suddenly like trying to avoid this domino effect of chaos and starting to pay attention to you.
Great. I run over and go, oh my God, thank you so much for finding my little baby. Oh my God. I pretend like I don't even see the guns. Obviously I do. And I like scoop Oscar up, now standing there and go, I'm so sorry. He gets so excited when my friend Scott is around. You wouldn't have happened to have seen him.
I think there is a moment where you realize there is in a couple of people around, there's a glint of fear in their eyes.
Maybe I no, Scott. There's not like a Scott around here. You're not Scott. You haven't seen Scott.
I'm not Scott. Who?
Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Candy Luciano, the actual owner of this business. I was hoping maybe I could have like a business meeting with Scott since we have some things to discuss.
Now, there's 2 possible outcomes for this. And I'm going to tell you ahead of time which they are. Okay. Either you're about to get riddled with bullets, or you're about to command the fear of having tortured their boss into them just giving up Scott's location. And this is going to be charisma plus
I was about to say I could do performance, so probably leadership or persuasion would be better.
Leadership here. Finally.
Okay.
Leadership.
Okay, yeah, I'll do a charisma leadership. That's not you know what? I'm going to rouse first. This is important. I don't really
That's a +1.
Oh,
okay.
Bestial failure. Well, I will willpower at least to reroll 3 of those.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sit on that. They hate me. They've loved y'all all day. I can do at least 3 of them, so have at least 1 success.
So
actually, 2 successes technically.
There is a moment where they are terrified of and hanging on your every word. But as this is a bestial failure, you can feel that anger, that control trying to assert itself, and this tiny little beast inside you, this fledgling thin blood vampire beast, asserts itself, and suddenly your nose becomes a lot more like Oscar's, and some whiskers sprout from your face.
Yeah, maybe I didn't make myself clear. Is Scott here?
Is it becoming clear to JR and I that things are starting to fall apart?
Oh yeah.
All right, so
I turn fuzzy.
I'm going to
around
do.
the
I
edges.
I place my hand on JR and I just simply say, "Don't freak out now." I'm gonna make a rouse check, real quick. And I'm trying to get Candy out of the situation before it gets real fucking bad.
They are already drawing their guns.
Yeah.
So
let me make a roll.
what are you doing? More chemistry?
You can read it all. It's going to be Fata Morgana.
Oh, okay. So that's much more potent. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. So my first rouse is just to use it.
Damn.
1,
Okay.
2, 3,
That's a
4,
lot of
5. So I
ones.
beat the number of difficulties to affect what I'm looking to affect.
Describe this illusion that you're constructing.
Right. So as I reach over to JR, I just simply say, "Don't freak out now." And the first thing you hear is a distant, not super distant, but a semi-distant, tiny little dog bark. And it's 1, then it's like 3, and then it's like 5, and then it's like 10 or 15. And they seem to be coming around, not us, but out near Candy. They don't need to see me. I just need to see them according to the ability.
Yes.
And as the dogs get louder, the dog barks get louder, you hear 10 different Candies go, Oscar, with like that reverb cranked to max, as 10 Candies basically come out from the cars from behind and all line up near her and all pick up their dogs and are all kind of like by her row. Now, Candy gets a roll if you want to disbelieve. You kind of know who's doing this likely.
Yeah, I've seen you do something
similar
like this
things.
before.
I don't do it very often. But they're all basically going to start mimicking and like Candy here. And
Great. I love this.
Anyone?
And I'm not hungry enough where I can't do another one if need be. But
Yep.
for now, the plan is to basically give the ability to wiggle room, intimidate, move forward, or use it as cover and leave if you want to get out of there.
I think Candy takes that as her cue. She knows what building he's in, right?
Yes.
So Candy immediately puts the dog in her bag. So all 10 like gingerly put their Oscar in their pocket bag.
It could be one of them.
She kind of
Who knows?
clips it closed and pulls it tight up off of her shoulder. And right as they're very clearly going for weapons, she is going to Dex tumble, like cheerleading tumble, her way out of this situation. That is actually a skill she has. She's never been able to use it.
Perfect.
And all of these mimic versions of her will begin just like cheerleading, tumbling like backwards through the people.
There's this as you do that roll, there is this cacophony of dog barking, and Ikemba, you can even like get a hint of this weird chaos going on. That is giving all of these people with pistols and AKs and like extra stuff to shoot at. So it is now much less likely that you're about to get ventilated. And with 4 successes, there's maybe 1 bullet that successfully heads in your direction, but the only way you know about it is like the whistle and ping off concrete.
The ones that hit the fucking like hallucinations would vanish for them because once they're interacted with by anybody, it's pretty obvious. But when the bullets hit like the other ones, you probably hear ow, 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 ow. Like, this was really like Valley Girl ouch every time they disappear.
And I my goal is to get as close to whatever staircase or doorway puts me in the building with Scott.
Okay, so with that you do like weird gymnastic tumbles and backwards and forwards, dodging out of the way of shots that aren't really in your direction, but there's a lot of them going on, mostly at the floor and these tiny dogs. And you run in and you see Scott yelling at the people closest to him, using his dominate, and they like automatically, like robots, begin to charge their way towards the trucks.
Once Candy goes inside, one of the doors shuts, I'll drop the illusion so all the copies vanish.
Okay, yeah.
When she's
basically, you go through one of those huge roller doors. So there's it's pretty clear that there's space inside and outside, but yeah, Candy's through, and you can see that. Yeah.
And then I'm just going to keep an eye on
They
him.
run past me to the trucks.
He's about to run past you.
Would you can I trip him?
You can try.
Yeah, I maybe I'll just put a foot out and see if he trips.
I'd say strength plus athletics.
Okay, not my best roll, but about a messy critical to trip him.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. That's a messy critical.
Yep.
Man, you make a yipping sound and like elbow your way through these goons that are surrounding Scott and just shove your heel into the crook of his foot as it comes up, and it flicks around to the back of his other heel, and he does his own tumble, and you at that point can't help yourself as your beast follows Oscar's lead and you start yelling at him and like throw yourself on top of him and start throttling him.
I was about to say, I grab him by the tie and like tighten it around his neck. I was like, do you like think I made you wear this uniform because you fucking looked good? You don't. You're like a piece of garbage. I wore it so I could choke you the day I realized that you were a fucking traitor.
I look fucking fantastic in this, and
You look like trash wearing Chanel.
You don't even know anything beyond fashion. I have no idea how you got here. How are you in charge of a mob? What is going on? What is this world? What is real right now?
I just kind of start slamming. I was like, I am a legitimate like mobster, you piece of garbage. Like, I can be taken fucking seriously and wear pink.
Then how didn't you realize that I'd stolen all of your passwords and turned all of your goons to work for me? Prada 1 is not a secure password.
I trusted you. That's like why. So feel a little fucking guilt, and I reach in my purse and I pull out one of those wooden cuticle things you use on your nails that are real sharp on one end, and I proceed to shove it straight into his heart.
Okay. He is going to use his own powers to defend himself.
Okay. I'm gonna try. I gotta at least like try.
Also, I think it can, but are they hearing the many gunshots? I think the many yippings of Oscar. I think Ikemba has a soft spot.
The best part for Ikemba, because I can't see you. You hear the gunshots.
Oh yeah, I don't hear the
you don't hear or see anything. There's just a fucking ton of gunfire for some reason.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna rush out. I told Silver probably should get out of the car. Don't trust they're gonna stop just for it. Just because it's in the exit.
Okay. Ikemba, make a wits awareness roll.
Wits awareness. Oh dear. Okay.
Oh, and JR as well. We'll see if either of you notice this.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. I got 6.
Holy shit.
Wow, nice.
That's messy.
Wow.
I got 2.
Ikemba, you don't notice this. JR, you do. Out of the kind of a parallel direction from where the loading bay is, coming up on the side of this truck, is a fucking wolf that turns into a person and climbs into the cab.
Do you like tell me?
I don't think he does, because that is a messy critical, and that's what you were here for. Creepy things and Candy's shit.
Fuck. Can I all right, so do I frenzy?
You don't frenzy, but you
Okay.
are, I'm gonna say, oh man, you're a Toreador, right?
Yes.
You're obsessed with cryptids right now.
Yeah.
Werewolves are close as it comes as far as you're concerned right now. You've been disappointed so many times. You are going to get an interview with this thing. You are obsessed with it in whatever way you want, unless you would like to try something else, in which case you're at a 2 dice disadvantage.
Tim would probably see JR start bolting to...
Well, I'm next to you, so yeah, if you leave...
he's like pulling up his phone and his task cam, and he immediately starts going into like podcast states, like, here on the ground floor at Gary, we're at... It's a depot for trucks. I don't even... Hello? Hello? Sir?
All right, fuck, dude. All right, you're making me do this, and this is not what I want to do. All right, I'm rouse check again. Hang on. Thank God. I will do same thing. Fata Morgana. This time, the illusion isn't more candies. As JR runs up, a bunch of nondescript, maybe 4 or 5 civilians with their phone cameras and attention follow him like they're going to record everything.
Oh, no.
So, at the very least, Kindred will keep them. The idea is Masquerade breach for Kindred, and werewolves also know they cause delirium to mortals if they go crazy, if they transform in front of them. Hopefully, the idea is just like sending people like recording, like following, and they like fans of your pot. The whole point is just to create civilians there to throw a kink in all the supernatural shit right now. So that's my Fata Morgana use. I'm gonna roll, and I'm gonna, since I didn't get hunger in my rouse, I'm gonna add 2 dice and rouse. I'm just creating like 5
candy
civilians off the street that, follow JR as fans or whatever. It doesn't really matter. He's bringing that energy instantly. I'm going to follow it up with civilians to throw the kink in the works of like, even if they know JR is Kindred, the people around them are civilians. And hopefully that's, having civilians around makes the werewolf and the vampires a little bit more fucking trepidatious because they know what can happen.
All right, so
yeah, you can roll an intelligence awareness to resist JR or any kindred who sees it. And since technically on the inside of the building, I can see you because where I'm at, you'll be able to hear it, but you won't see it until the door opens. So you can hear JR running up, and then you might be able to hear the murmur of other people being like, "Oh my god, what's happening? Oh my god, can you believe this? Oh, call my mom, call my sister." Like people trying to generate attention.
All right, so
that's what I do. I'm at 4 hunger for it.
Is that right? Difficulty 6?
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty 6, yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, my God.
There is no
literally
way.
Hit 6.
The fuck?
JR knows he doesn't have fans like that.
yeah. Which is fine. JR knowing is probably better because he might freak out if these strangers ran up on him.
Well, I mean, I'm also well aware of the fact that you just summoned the Prada
That's true.
army.
I did also just go, hey, don't like lose your mind. I'm about to do something weird.
And these people weren't here before, so he's probably just like sticking to his guns.
Yeah.
Please, sir, you just answer just a handful of questions, man. We have the dog mob army here on the floor in Gary. Sir, can roll down the window. Roll it down.
You hear like the loudest swear you've ever heard from inside this cab. This guy is clearly swearing at the fact that there is an army of pseudo journalists at his door. He opens the door for you. You get in. Come with me.
All the people will just go up to the car and start filming the inside and like looking at putting the cameras to the driver and just like trying to make it look at everything.
This dude leans over, grabs you by the scruff of your neck, and pulls you inside. And hits the gas.
Come on, Daddy, chill.
If the cab drives away, I'm gonna move the civilians to like, what's in this? What's in the warehouse? What's going on in here? Oh my god, I thought this place was closed, and just start moving into Candy and like bring a wad of civilians. And Candy, you get to roll an intelligence awareness as well when they move their way in.
Well, we can try.
While that is happening.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I didn't mean to call for like a roll.
No, that's all right.
No, I definitely think they're real.
There's a lot of chaos happening inside. Ikemba, you are on your way in and you hear the truck starting up. What was it you were trying to achieve?
I heard gunshots. I assumed that my squads were in danger. I think I'm honestly just rushing in to see what the situation is and how I can help.
Okay, so the interesting thing is the squad are in danger. There's like a bunch of people taking photographs. Candy has shoved a tiny piece of wood into Scott's chest, and he's kind of struggling against her and like trying to lift her up and off. And various other people are shooting at things that don't exist. And you see right behind, coming up from the opposite end, is a very much larger than you've seen before wolf person.
Oh, okay. Damn. Okay. I think I'm trying to just imagine what the layout is. Can I see Tim from where I am? Or like if I looked around, can I see
Tim's
Tim?
on the roof.
He's on the roof?
Tim's on the kind of... Imagine you're looking into the loading bay. In front of you on the floor, Candy and Scott. Behind them, a giant werewolf.
Okay.
To your right, a truck taking off, full of stuff. And up and to your left is Tim.
I'm like peering through the sky window.
Okay.
You see like this werewolf tear through a guy shooting an AK as they're all like trying to figure out this chaos, and it is slowly lumbering through these goons towards where everyone else is.
I'm assuming I don't see the wolf yet.
Not yet. It is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
When it comes
You're
into view,
focused on-
the plan is to have the civilians start screaming, call 911, call 911, as loud as possible.
Does Candy see the werewolf?
Well, the last thing I'd like to ask you is, you have stabbed Scott, and he's not really going anywhere. You're like having this slap fight, and you see the piece of wood just like slowly getting into his chest. Is there anything you would like to say to him before he gets staked?
You deserve this.
You don't deserve any of this. And that is when he goes limp.
Like, perfect.
I
get up.
if it's okay, Dot, I don't think there's any words. I think Ikemba, the moment you get up, Ikemba's hoisted you over his shoulder and is going to just run. Especially after seeing this werewolf, is going to pick up Candy
Wait,
and
I didn't
run.
even get to torture him. Wait, where are we going?
I'll just say,
Would you like...
big dog behind us, no time. And I'll just keep...
Do I see it now?
Yeah, you're thrown over his shoulder, you're facing that way, and there's this huge fucking scary dog tearing through
I
people.
go, oh my god, I'm so sorry. You can have his like body. He's the one that's been doing all this.
Do you want to
You
take
can thank
Scott
me
with
later.
you?
My name's Candy.
Sorry.
Take
Okay.
Scott with us? Could I do that?
If you activate Potence, I'll let you do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna leave his body for the
I'll
werewolves.
pick up Scott.
Either you go with Candy or you pick up Scott.
Oh,
That's-
one or the
that's-
other. Yeah, I want to pick up Candy.
Okay. Yeah, Candy's like, leave him. You pick up Candy. You start zipping out. Tim, you see this. At this point, there's JR and a werewolf crashing through your car at the gate and pulling out into the distance.
That's my boyfriend.
Did the civilians seem to slow the wolf down at all?
The werewolf is out of your knowledge as a vampire, is in Krynos rage. It
Yeah,
will
so
not
my-
stop
it just does
until
not- it has
multiple
no
things
idea.
are
Gotcha.
dead.
It would become at the least it would become obvious that he doesn't give a shit about the civilians.
Oh, yeah.
The civilians
It
walked up to
swipes-
him and he just didn't care.
swipes at
So
illusions.
once Candy is safe and I know she's safe and they're out of there, then I'll drop the illusions because there's still dudes with guns. I'm imagining that might still like linger and shoot at her. I'll try to keep them distracted. Otherwise, then I just need to get the fuck out of here. And is there an opportunity for me to get Scott quickly while he's tearing through the gunman in the back line?
This is going to be an extremely difficult role if you want
what
to
would
grab
the
Scott.
skill that you'd be looking for?
I would imagine that's dexterity plus athletics, or unless you can think of another way you'd like to try.
I mean, yeah, I nothing else would make sense to me for that. So I'll make a dex athletics check. I'll make an attempt here. Oh,
that's a
Ugh.
I can't. I'm not re-rolling that, baby. That's how it's gonna be. I can only re-roll one of those anyway. It doesn't say beast you'll fail, so that's good, I
it
guess.
doesn't. Oh, because it was like
rolled
required
a-
as one success or something.
No, I hit
It-
zero.
It was with.
It says
weird.
1 of 0. I don't know why.
Anyway, I'm going to count that as a bestial failure.
Yeah, it works.
You've already been bitten by a werewolf tonight, and so you bravely try and go in and grab Scott. But the pain in your arm just freaks out your beast, and you entirely lose it. Instinct takes over, and you go into frenzy. Candy, Ikemba, you lose track of him as you try to escape yourselves. And from there, Let's follow what I think Tim does. He follows his instinct. He gets into the second truck and just drives in a straight line through the gate onto the road and off into the distance on the highway.
Is there anything else around here to drive?
There is a smashed up Escalade with Mr. Silver in.
Is it still drivable?
Just about.
Well, remember, the plan
Okay.
for me was not to go down to try and get Scott until I knew Candy was safe. Right?
Candy
I didn't want to
is-
drop the illusions
is-
until
Candy
was
is
gone and
safe.
safe.
I'm just worried about the fact that JR rode off with somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Candy's in full, like, she's riding the beast right now in her weird thin blood gangrel way,
Yeah.
and she's pissed. He just rode off in a car with somebody else. JR has some explaining to do. So Candy goes, like, put me down.
Ikemba,
She's like, get your ass in this Escalade. We are going to recover JR, and Tim's already leading the way.
is he? I'm looking at that.
Likely. I'm probably going to like a safe truck stop I know where I know a couple lot lizards I can feed off of.
It's like, well, he's doing whatever, like, he does. He'll come back around. Get in the car!
I don't appreciate being
Like-
spoken to like that.
I'm, like, sorry. I'm feeling a little tense right now. Scott really pissed me off.
It's okay. He's likely dead. So we don't need to worry about him anymore.
We're going to be likely dead, too, if I don't get this car started.
Fair point. Okay.
And Candy's gonna, she actually has drive skills, so she's gonna take the wheel, and she'll just, try to turn this Escalade back on, and tear off in the direction of the truck carrying JR.
And I think as you are all driving away from this disaster zone, that's a really good place to have one final little vignette. There's JR, you're like trying to get an interview out of this werewolf who says that he saved you from a much bigger, scarier werewolf. And out of the corner of your eye, you see a fuzzy, red-eyed beast flick off into the distance.
He really does exist. He just kind of slowly looks over at the driver. You didn't see that, did you?
See what?
It's fucking Mothman.
And that's where we're going to end today. Thank you, everyone.